Now here's a difficult trick. Section 8.2, percentages. This time we're finding a percentage of a quantity, just like unit 1. Again, no calculator. Page 105. Basic things you should know. Here we go. This is question 3A as a starter. 10% of £270. Well, that's going to be 27 quid. Is that alright? Just divide by 10. Learn these 10% things. If I was to do 20% of something, I've got 1,500. Well, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to say 10% of that equals 150, and therefore 20% of 1,500 is going to be twice as much. Let's show you how working now. Otherwise known as £300. Is that alright? So great way to show it without a calculator. What about something like 95% of something? Now here's a great little trick here. 95% of £7,200. Not a calculator. So here I go. Well, that's nearly 100%, and 100% is 7,200. So let me just state that obvious step there. 100% of 7,200 is in fact 7,200. It's the whole thing. Now, if I want to work out 5% of 7,200, all I have to do is take away that 5% figure from 7,200, and taking away is quite nice. Well, before we start worrying about 5%, let's work out 10%, shall we? Well, very easy. 720. That's all in squids. So what's 5% going to be? Half the 10% amount. So that's £360. Okay, half of 72 is 36. Therefore, final punchline: 95% of 7,200 quid is going to be 7,200. There's the 100%. Take away the 5%. 360. I can do a simple little sum, I hope. Right, let's just take this away. That's nothing. Let's borrow from you. You go over there. 10 take away 6 is 4. Borrow from you. You go over there. 11 take away 3 is going to be 8, and 6 take away nothing at all is 6. Therefore, I have an answer of £6,840, and that is 95% of 7,200. Alright, let's work on the other side. That's quite tricky, isn't it? But that's how you do it. Let me do 85% of 740. So this is the problem. 85% of 740 grams. Doesn't matter what it's in. Let's just get 50% first of all. We know 50% is going to be half of that 740. It's going to be half of it. So that's 350 plus an extra 20. That's going to be 370 grams. Alright, half of that, 350 plus 20, 370. So I'm up to 50%. Let's just get 10% now. 10% of 740. Well, that's going to be 74 grams. So another 10% is another 74. So let's go for 20% now, which would be twice as much as that. So that's going to be 148, doubling up nicely, grams. So I'm up to 50, 60, 80. Now we're going to work out 5% to get 85%. Alright, bits and pieces. So what is 5% of 740? Answer, it's half of what it was when it was 10%. So half of 74, 35, 36, 37 grams. Now we're just going to add up that little lot there. What have we got? Nothing. That's going to be 12 plus 7, 19. Do a quick carry there. 7 and 7, 14, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So carry that over. 22. Oops. Why did I put 0 there for? Why? I did say 22 and I wrote 20. So 22. 3, 4, 5, 6. 629 grams is 85% of 740. I will now check it on my machine. Of course you can't do that in an exam, but you can in class if you want to, or look in the answer sheets that I gave you. Right, so 0.85 times 629, wrong, 0.85 times 740, and I got 600. If you can see that, you know I got it right. So thank you very much. And that's quite involved, isn't it? Still only giving us grade E for it, but that's the technique. Break it up into lots of little bits. What's all this about? Let me try number 5. It looks, well, it's a word question, so I better pay some attention. I have got, and again I'm doing it blind now, let's go back to black. I'm doing it as, I've not seen this question before in my life. I've got 630 boys. I've got 660 girls. And they go to school. That's nice. 90% of the boys, okay, so let's just write up the story. 90% of this little crew and 95% of the girls, what do? They have a mobile phone. How many boys have a mobile? How many girls have a mobile? How many students altogether have a mobile phone? In other words, let's work it all out and add them all up. How many boys have a mobile phone? Essentially, I want 90% of 630 boys. Well, let me just take a little look, shall I? If I can cancel that bit so far, that will help a lot. If I can cancel that 0 with that 0, I'm left with 9 divided by 1 times 63. All I've got to do is 63 times 9. I'm sure I can do that on a good day. So 9 3s, 27. 9 6s, I'm not sure what that is. Andrew, what's 9 6s? 54, that's what I thought. So 9 6 are 54 plus 2, 56. So 90% of the 630 boys is 567 boys so far. Let's do the same with the girls. Again, this is a different method to the other page. I'm going to try using it as a raw percentage. So 95% of 660 girls, definitely lose one of these. What I can do, of course, is halve it down a little bit. As you can see, 5 goes into 10 and 95. I did say halve it down. I was thinking of carving the 66 down to 30 and the 10s into 5s. But anyway, if I put 5s into 10, I go twice. If I put 5s into 95, it goes 19 times. Oh look, I can cancel down further if I want to. The 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 66 33 times, and I'm left with 19 times 33. Well, I can do that. That's called long multiplication, and I'm sure I can do that. So 33 times 19 is not the method I showed you on the previous page, where you work out like 10% and 20% and 5%. I'm just doing long multiplication. It may be quicker for some of you. Here I go. So 9 7s. 9 3s, 27. 9 3s, 27 plus 2, 29. Multiply by the 10 now, so drop a 0. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 3 is 3. Add it all up. 7, 12, 6. So I've got 629 girls who've got mobiles. So that was question A, that was question B. Question C, how many students altogether have mobile phones? So altogether means let's do some adding up. So here I go. 5, 6, 7 boys, 6 to 7 girls. Do some adding. Well, that's 14 so far. 8 plus 1 is 9, and that's 11. So I've got 1,194 students, that's boys and girls, who have mobiles. Just go back to this 95% business. How can I have done it a different way? Well, let's just work over here with a 95. I can do 50% by halving the 660 and going for 330 girls. I can do 10% by just chopping off that 0 and saying, well, that's 66 girls extra. I can then go 20% by doubling up my 66. That'll be 120 plus 12, 132 girls. And I want another 5% on top, so 5% is going to be, well, half of that, which is 33. If I add up that little lot, I should get 627. Let's just try it, make sure it works. Right, 0, 0, 0, what we've got here? We've got, if I made a mistake, I better not have done. I go mental, right. 50, oh, it's 85, oh dear. Right, let's just backtrack a little bit. 85, I've got 80 there. Let's whack on another 10%, shall we? So 10% is going to be another 66 girls, and what we've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and an extra 5% is going to be half of the 66, which is 33. Now let's add them. We're aiming for 627 girls. Just want to show you this method also works. Right, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 and 2, 14, plus 3 is 17. Well, that's encouraging. I've got a little 7 right there. Right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 12 and 6 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. Very encouraging. I've got a 2 there. And finally, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yes, I have landed it. Whether you're going to go down the long multiplication route or this little bit where you break up the percentages into manageable 10s and 20s and 5s and what have you, it's up to you. Either way, use the space in your exam paper very wisely, and don't be in a hurry to just to write down any old rubbish, because the space must be respected. Don't make the examiner run all around the room trying to find what you're trying to say. Do it in a logical way. The way I've set out this red stuff is sort of very clear, very logical, not very tidy, but you know, I'm in a hurry. That's how it's done. Just be clear with it. Should we do another one of these dodgy ones? What I think I'll do is pause now, because this has been quite a long video, and come back to some of the grade D and grade C questions again. No calculator allowed, so I'm going to stop that right now, and we'll carry on later.